In news overseas, after two mass shootings in a span of 13 hours, there have now been more than 250 such events this year, in which at least 4 people were shot or killed, besides the shooter. Officials in Dayton, Ohio and El Paso, Texas report 29 fatalities and at least 50 injured from shootings this weekend in those cities. Republican and Democrat politicians share their reactions to the massacres. VOA's Arash Arabasadi has more.
Oh, Sunday in Dayton, Ohio. Gunshots in a commercial district at around 1 in the morning.
What the?
The number of American mass shootings is now more than 250 this year. The gunman killed 9 and injured dozens before nearby police shot him dead. Just 13 hours earlier in El Paso, Texas, law enforcement responds to an active shooter at a Walmart. There, the gunman killed 20 and injured at least 26. Federal officials call it an act of domestic terrorism. President Trump tweeted his support to the governor of Texas, saying, "God be with you all." He said that the FBI, state and local authorities are working together in both cities. Democrat and 2020 presidential candidate Joaquin Castro laid blame with the shooter, but said the president's often heated rhetoric helps radicalize domestic terrorists.
He's given license for this toxic brew of white supremacy to fester more and more in this country. At the same time, as our national leader, you have a role to play in either fanning the flames of division or trying to bring Americans of different backgrounds together.
President Trump's acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, says mass shooters, not political rhetoric, are to blame.
There's no benefit here to trying to make this a political issue. This is a social issue, and we need to address it as that. The people responsible here are the people who pulled the trigger. We need to figure out how to create less of those kinds of people as a society, and not trying to figure out who gets blamed going into the next election.
Both Mulvaney and Castro seem to agree that narrowing access to firearms is a step in the right direction.
The answer is not more guns. The answer is to make sure that these weapons of war, these semi-automatic weapons, don't get into the hands of people who go and use them on the street.
I think we all agree that sick people who are intent on doing things like this should not be able to buy guns legally. The challenge, of course, is trying to identify who is sick when they try and buy their weapons, and that's the type of discussion we have to have.
I don't know the condition of
a hate-filled and anti-immigrant manifesto appeared online nearly 20 minutes before the shooting began in Texas. Authorities have yet to confirm its author, and one of the Dayton shooter's victims was his own sister, capping off one of the deadliest mass shooter weekends in the history of a country plagued by gun violence.